Ever wondered what it would be like to truly walk on the wild side, to shed your inhibitions and indulge your most taboo desires in the urban underbelly? Well, welcome to the Schipperskwartier district of Antwerp, Belgium, home to one of Europe's most infamous, hedonistic red light areas. By day, the Schipperskwartier seems like any other dense neighborhood in this historic port city. Quaint brick row houses and apartment buildings line the narrow, winding streets and alleyways. Neatly dressed office workers and students hurry along the cobblestones, grabbing falafel or brackish North Sea oysters from food trucks between classes and meetings. As night falls, the Schipperskwartier takes on a thrillingly scandalous vibe, transforming from a seemingly ordinary area into a neon-lit haven of indulgence. Red neon lights flood the windows and doorways, luring you in with the tempting allure of pleasure and sin. Women, dressed in revealing outfits of every kind, compete for your gaze, posing provocatively as you stroll down the streets lined with glass. Behind misty windows, they gesture unmistakably, inviting you into their dimly lit spaces for experiences that money can buy, filled with candlelight and lustful desires. In the heart of the Schipperskwartier's wild scene lies Falconplein Square and its nearby streets teeming with all kinds of naughty stuff. Falconrui, Verversrui, and Vingerlingstraat. Here, flashy neon lights illuminate windows where ladies strike alluring poses, hoping to tempt you inside like sirens. Along these streets, you'll find some of the most famous brothels and places for window prostitution. But the Schipperskwartier isn't just about selling sex. With pumping EDM and techno music filling the air, follow the bass beats to discover shady strip clubs and cabarets that could tempt even the most innocent folks. In the notorious Moulin Rouge, scantily clad dancers sway and peel off their glistening attire on stage. For a fee, you can rent private rooms for a more intimate encounter with the performers, who are ready to fulfill your every desire. Over at the Paradise Club and La Cigale, beautiful dancers tease the crowd, gradually revealing their curves to cheers and whistles, leaving just enough to imagination to drive the audience wild. Other cabarets push the boundaries even further into the realm of the risque and taboo. For those seeking more intimate thrills, several swingers clubs in the Schipperskwartier cater to those wanting to explore their desires with like-minded individuals. At places like the famous Coco Loft and Julia clubs, the debauchery spills out from private rooms into lounge areas and dark corners. It's a true haven for those looking for some naughty fun. But the Schipperskwartier's sensual delights aren't limited to clubs and cabarets. Step into any dimly lit smoky bar like Rio or Ibiza, and you might encounter prostitutes openly seeking customers or groups, engaging in acts that would make even the most conservative blush. The winding streets and lanes of the Schipperskwartier buzz with a sexually charged energy that can make even the most reserved visitor feel a primal urge to explore their deepest desires. Here, societal norms and taboos take a back seat, giving way to a world where fantasies come to life. But the Schipperskwartier isn't just about basic desires. It caters to a diverse range of fetishes and kinks, including those of Antwerp's lively BDSM community. Just a short walk away, you'll stumble upon dungeons dedicated to domination, where skilled practitioners offer a variety of punishments and pleasures to willing participants. In the words of an old Belgian saying, "Hier kan elk slotje een sleutel vinden." Here, every lock can find its key. Whether it's furry accessories, ropes and restraints, wax and leather, or other indulgences, the Schipperskwartier has something to satisfy every craving, no matter how taboo. And if all this talk of debauchery has you curious about the city's erotic history, don't miss the Schipperskwartier Museum in Antwerp. This unique museum offers a captivating journey through the city's long and kinky past, showcasing how it earned a reputation for indulging every vice and pleasure imaginable over the centuries. Experiencing the wild pleasures of the Schipperskwartier is an unforgettable adventure. But before calling it a night, why not stop by one of the quarter's cozy bars for a drink? You might just encounter some intriguing characters while indulging in your fantasies. Of course, not everyone needs to dive into the world of paid intimacy to enjoy Belgium's sensual delights. For charming conversationalists willing to make a genuine connection, there are plenty of opportunities to meet local Belgian women the traditional way. Head to vibrant neighborhoods like Brussels' Saint-Géry quarter or the Dansaert area, where lively bars and clubs abound. Belgian women are known for their fun-loving and adventurous spirits, especially after a few rounds of strong Genever and tonics. Treat them to a drink, share a laugh, and who knows, you might find yourself enjoying the same pleasures as those in the red light district, minus the transactional aspect. Just remember to avoid coming across as pushy or disrespectful. nobody wants to feel like just another conquest. University areas surrounding campuses like Brussels ULB or VUB are also prime hunting grounds, especially during weekly pub crawls or on nights when class gets out. Co-eds are always eager to meet charming new people from different cultures and backgrounds. Even more upscale venues like high-end cocktail lounges, comedy clubs, and live music joints can open doors to connections with sharp, successful Belgian ladies who enjoy finer amusements. Exhibit some sophistication, and you may be rewarded with an invitation to continue the night's entertainment in a more private setting. Just remember, no matter where you venture in search of female company, mind your manners and always treat the locals with respect. Despite their carnal curiosities, sexual bravado, and reputation for being bon vivant, most Belgian women still expect to be wooed and romanced at least a little bit. A little chivalry can go a long way. While offering a tantalizing menu of salacious and sensual delights, be warned that indulging in all Belgium has to offer doesn't come cheap. This is one of the most expensive countries in Western Europe when it comes to the overall cost of living. Even a modest one-bedroom apartment in major cities like Brussels or Antwerp can easily run you 900 to 1,300 euros per month in rent alone, and that's for something relatively basic without modern amenities. Utilities and other housing costs quickly add up too. A decent high-speed fiber internet and cable TV package will easily tack on another 50 to 100 euros to your monthly expenses. Getting around also adds a hefty toll to your budget. Belgium has a decent public transportation network of buses, trams, and metros within its cities. But between cities and towns, you'll likely rely on rideshare services like Uber or taxis, which can be ruinously expensive. A quick 10 to 15-minute ride from Brussels city center to the airport can easily cost 25 to 35 euros or more. When you want to grab a bite, be prepared for some sticker shock as well. A basket of fries from one of Belgium's beloved frietures will run you around 4 to 5 euros. A mug of Belgium's trademark beer, or even just a simple coffee or latte could easily set you back 4 to 6 euros at any cafe. And if you want to indulge in finer dining, you'll be dropping some serious euros. Entry-level mains at reputed Brussels brasseries start around 25 euros and only go up from there. And then there are Belgium's notoriously high tax rates to contend with. Income taxes are levied at both the local and national levels, with top marginal rates approaching a whopping 50% for higher income earners. There's also a 21% VAT added to most goods and services. Between exorbitant rents, utilities that will drain your monthly budget, excessive transportation costs, and those heavy tax burdens, your hard-earned money simply won't stretch nearly as far as it might in many other European countries. You'll need to budget very carefully and be prepared to shell out big time if you want to experience Belgium's finer things in life. That said, for Americans, actually getting into Belgium is relatively simple from an immigration standpoint, at least for shorter trips. No advance visa is required for visits lasting under 90 days for tourism or business purposes. All you need is a valid U.S. passport with at least 3 months of remaining validity. Upon arrival at immigration checkpoints in Belgium, your passport will be stamped allowing a 90-day stay in the Schengen area that includes Belgium and 25 other European countries. Just be very conscious of that 90-day limit and make sure you don't overstay, unless you want to risk potential fines, detentions, or even deportation. For longer stays in Belgium beyond 3 months, or if you intend to work, study, or take up temporary or permanent residency, then you will need to apply for the appropriate visa, work permit, or residency paperwork through a Belgian consulate or embassy well in advance. The processes can be complicated, requiring you to submit documents like passport photos, background checks, proof of income, funds, and more. U.S. citizens from certain eligible states can also potentially use the ESTA visa waiver program, which allows up to 90 days of travel in the Schengen area after completing a simple online application and paying a processing fee of around $20. But for most Americans just looking to experience a week or two of Belgium's culture and indulgences, that standard U.S. passport is all you'll need to gain entry. Now let's take a step back and quickly go over some of the highlights that make Belgium such a unique, fascinating nation beyond just its infamous red light districts. Despite being a tiny country, just slightly larger than Maryland, it manages to pack in an incredible diversity of cultures, languages, and urbanization levels. While deeply divided along ethnic lines between the Dutch-speaking Flemish, who make up around 60% of the population, and the French-speaking Walloons at around 40%, Belgium features no less than 3 official languages, also including German. This reflects its strategic location straddling Germanic and Latin European cultural spheres. Thanks to that small size yet stark linguistic divisions, Belgium remains one of the most densely populated and highly urbanized nations in Europe. The cosmopolitan capital, Brussels, is home to over 1 million residents, forming one major metropolitan area, along with cities like Antwerp, Ghent, and charming Bruges. Yet venture just a bit outside those cities, and you'll be transported into an entirely different world. One of quaint small towns surrounded by patchwork farms and fields. Rolling hills, thick forests, and even a few underrated vineyards can be found here, making for a serene, pastoral contrast to the urban grit. Of course, most visitors aren't coming to Belgium for its bucolic countryside, but rather for the cultural delights of its cities and its well-earned reputation as the capital of indulgent living. Be it beer, chocolate, fries, or mussels, Belgium is world-famous for its rich, decadent cuisine and beverages designed to satisfy even the most gluttonous appetites. Bars, cafes, and pubs seem to line every street in cities like Brussels and Antwerp. It's not uncommon for locals to begin their day with a mug of frothy beer for breakfast, segueing into glass after glass of Kentucky bourbon-like Genevers or mineral waters as the day and night wears on. Food and drink are serious business here. Speaking of serious business, Belgium was also once one of the world's most influential economic powers thanks to its conquests and colonial exploits. The country's Baroque and Gothic architectural marvels found in cities like Brussels, Antwerp, and Ghent are lasting reminders of this gilded age of Belgian prosperity and empire. So for those willing to indulge their hedonistic side while also exploring rich history and culture, Belgium truly offers a unique experience that can't be found elsewhere. Just don't be surprised if you find some of those cultural experiences to be a bit raunchier than others. So there you have it, an insider's look at the delightfully depraved pleasures awaiting in Belgium, from Antwerp's infamous Schipperskwartier red light district to the upscale clubs of Brussels. Whether indulging taboo fantasies or enjoying decadent culture, this tiny nation offers plenty for those embracing life's indulgences. Just maybe leave your wife at home for this European adventure. What happens in Belgium should stay in Belgium, if you know what I mean. If you enjoyed this admittedly risque insider's guide, make sure to smash that like button and share it with your thirstiest friends. Also, subscribe for more salacious travel content coming soon. Let me know in the comments, would you dare explore Antwerp's red light district or stick to Belgium's tamer delights? I'm curious to hear your take. Until next time, safe travels and try not to get into too much trouble. This is Faceless signing off.